Hello everyone, this is Jennifer and today I'd like to talk to y'all about crocheted bags. So I've just put together this little corner. I recently painted the shelves that are down here, which will probably be their own separate video after this one, I'd assume, because I still have to fill them up with cute stuff. And I was going through this big box here, which is a bunch of my handmade items, and so I've been wanting to do this video, which is a little bit of an update of my photographing handmade bags, I think is what it was called, video from earlier in the year. I'm posting a video every day in July. Subscribe if you want to see more. So in the previous video talking about these crocheted bags, I talked about how I named each one. In this set of bags, I haven't named all of them yet, but this one I have. This is the Cooper bag, and this is because I was watching Twin Peaks for the very first time, and I crocheted this little bag. This is more of a display, like, for a table, you know, to put, like, produce or, I don't know, garlic or something in. It has this kind of, like, a mountain motif on it, and it's got a little tiny green almost triangle here. I was using up some of this yarn. Like I mentioned in the previous video, I'd gotten a bunch of yarn from my parents' house from when I was in high school. I did a lot of crocheting and knitting, more knitting than crocheting, and so I decided to make a bunch of bags to try to use up some of the scraps. So the next one that I worked on is this piece here, which has a lot of scrap yarn in it. So we can see there's a kind of a mishmash of somewhat neutral colors, and it has a little holder thingy here. I'm thinking you could hang it up on a wall. When I've tried to hang it up, it's a little bit too 3D, so you'd have to have something sticking out kind of a lot, which I just didn't realize. But you can kind of smush it down a little bit more and have something kind of different and unique. I'm not a huge fan of this one. I don't think it's very appealing. Yeah, this is very definitely a using up all of the rest of the yarn from all of the other bags that I had made, and making it into something. I'm thinking of putting another one of these on the opposite side and then doing buttons into these little holes so that it could be a strap. And you could have just like a little, again, it's like a bowl, it's like a little basket bowl thing. Now I have a bag that's supposed to be a little bit hippy dippy, like very Humboldt. So we have this nice tight single crochet spiral on the bottom, and this transforms into seed stitch, knit seed stitch on the top, and then we have a drawstring that is also a handle. So if you really want to cinch up your bag, you can have a longer handle. And yeah, that's what this looks like. I kind of like this one. It's kind of purposefully ugly. It's got a lot of those orange browns and greens that make it look kind of funky, but I kind of like that about it. I think it'd be good for going to like a farmer's market. Then I learned how to make granny squares, which I'd never made before. And this is the most adorable thing ever, in my opinion. I love the yarn choices in this one. Again, I'm working with scrap yarn. So you'll see some repeating patterns or like repeating yarn. So like within this one, I'll get a little bit closer, you can see there's this orange. So that's this orange. This red is this red. This variegated is this variegated. And the white I think is the same white. So, yeah, I made these granny squares and stitched them together, and then I did a loop around and made it all the way so that it would close up at the bottom, and I did some single crochet at the top as well. And this doesn't have a strap or any plans for a strap or handle. Right now this one is really just like a produce bowl, so you could have some apples or something in this on your counter. This one next, and this one is a fully functional bag, and it's quite pretty in my opinion. This is what it looks like. It's a bunch of granny squares. They are all joined together, and then we have double crochet up the sides. We have a few rows of single crochet along the top of all the granny squares in the blue, and then the orange strap. Then I think this was all the rest of the yellow yarn, and then I transitioned into orange, or vice versa, I'm not sure. So we have this mishmash. Again, I love the colors. I really liked the colors in this one, but I'd run out of white. And so in this, I added in the blue, which I think is just, honestly, this is such a pretty bag. I really like this one. I used it today, and I put in a buttonhole, so if in the future I find a button that I really, really like, I can attach it to the other side so that it'll stay closed. Extending off from the granny square kick, I made this bag, which is kind of like a, I don't know, it's kind of like throwback retro to 90s stuff. It kind of looks like a bucket hat. It is, again, some granny squares, except these time they're larger. I don't actually really like this size of granny square, I figured. We have some solid. I had 4 colors. I had a solid red, a solid black, rainbow, and a variegated white to black. And so I made one of each of the solid color, or one of each solidly of the yarns, and then I did, I think, one of each combination, not combination, but whatever. I did 4 of, you know, a mishmash of all of them together. Then for the bottom, I had run out of one of the, or maybe several of the colors for this, and so I added in a bunch of different colors. I love this aqua circle. And then I again finished it up with black, and I have some big buttons to put on the strap. The strap is it's in single crochet. It's maybe 3 or 4, and it also has like just little splashes of color. Really, they're really scrap yarn bags, so trying to convey that and make them somewhat cohesive at the same time. So yeah, this is again another example of a harvest bag where you could fill it up with some produce, and you could also just put it on your counter. You can take out the strap pretty easily. You can unbutton it, and you can just put the strap back in. So if you want, you can buy your produce, and then you can just put it on the counter. So that's all of the ones that I finished. With warmer weather and all of that, I've been spending more time outside, and so I've been doing less, you know, sitting watching TV and crocheting. But I have one that I'm currently working on. I am still on the granny square kick, so this is what I have going on. I was actually wearing a dress today that very much matched this. So here's what we have going on. I have these 6 which I'm pretty sure I ran out of this yarn, so I couldn't make any more. And so then I switched to these solid colors, and I made the bottom. I put up some sides with black, and now I am making another round of these smaller solid color ones. I added in this color yarn because I thought it matched pretty well with the bag. And so now I'm gonna finish making this round, and then I'm gonna sew it onto the top and maybe do some more solid rows of the black or rounds, and then who knows, maybe do some more. But the idea is to have a similar construction to this, because I quite like that in its usefulness. But it's not the same as the, you know, stand it up on your table and it stays upright. So that is what I've been making recently. I'm really into the granny squares right now. They are so cute. I don't know why I never knew how to make them before. I actually found a hat that I'd made when I was trying to learn how to make granny squares back when I was in maybe probably high school, and I screwed up. So instead of being a flat square, it was like kind of like it was round. And so then I just added on to it and made it into a beanie. If I finish with unpacking stuff into this shelving and get some of my old projects together, I can share those with you later in the month, probably. So that's all I had to share with you today. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in seeing more, if you want to see some like live action, or go into maybe I'll start with like the yarn scraps that I'm working with, and we can make a bag together. I don't know, let me know if you're interested in seeing stuff like that. As always, thank you for watching.